welcome to the February 16th Muscatine City Council. Fran, will you please do the roll call?
Councilmembers Raywald,
Present.
Fitzgerald,
Present.
Hatfield,
Present.
Saucedo,
Present.
Bynum,
Present.
Harvey,
Present.
Spread,
Present.
all present, Your Honor.
Thank you, Fran. Will you please join me in saying the Pledge of Allegiance? Thank you, everyone, for coming on this lovely weather day for February. Is there anybody here tonight that would like to speak to council about something not currently on tonight's agenda?
There he goes. At least he takes his hat off.
Please state your name and address.
Roth, Parkhouse. Get this thing over here, I can actually say something. To be informed of the nature and cause of the accusation, U.S. Constitution, 6th Article of Amendment. For the Muscatine City Council to think that repeating only the state law as to the types of charges to be placed against Mayor Broderson in the articles of impeachment for to convict will not be enough to clarify their obligation to properly obey the 6th Article Amendment of the Federal Constitution. If they were the U.S. House of Representatives, they would have to act as I was, to have to add the particular charges that are under the type of charges so named in the U.S. Constitution. It is here that they, during the night when they actually placed such articles of impeachment against the city mayor, did refuse to add the actual charges that were substantiating the cause for said impeachment. According to the U.S. courts, in their interpretation of the above violations of the defendant's constitutional rights, to not show the actual reasons as to cry foul under the Iowa law causes their complaint to forever be moot. They even added insult to injury against themselves when the city attorney stated it will take weeks to file any charges against the mayor. The U.S. courts will again frown on this sort of tomfoolery, since the actual charges are to be with the defendant that substantiates the reason for the charge as mentioned in the Iowa law much sooner than, quote, a few weeks, end quote. By reneging their constitutional obligation to follow the actual charges with the articles of impeachment, hoping the city attorney will do the same for them, also goes against them, since it is a legislative body that has to bring the substantiating charges. Again, something they refuse to do. Under constitutional law, this may be, at least in theory, construed as the city council, quote, washing their hands, end quote, of the whole situation as if they didn't want to have anything more to do with causing said impeachment to happen or forced by another to do their deed. Therefore, since the city council is not able nor willing to bring the actual qualifying reasons as to the charges against the city mayor in addition to the articles of impeachment mentioned in the Iowa law in a timely manner, now causes the articles of impeachment to become moot nor able to be used in the future against her as interpreted by the federal courts, nor can the city council on discovery from me in this situation redouble their efforts to correct said mistake, since this also is not allowed by the federal court, since the damage by their decision to not reveal to the defendant to also add the actual reasons substantiate the impeachment charges of the same night of the impeachment statement by them unanimously.
Thank you, Mr. Roth. Is there anyone else who has anything they'd like to speak to council about that's not already on tonight's agenda? Hearing nothing, we'll move along with the consent agenda. Item 5. The following items are considered to be routine by the City Council and will be enacted by one motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless a council member so requests, in which event the item will be removed from the consent agenda and considered in its normal sequence on the agenda. Is there a motion to approve tonight's consent agenda, which includes items 6A through C, items 8A through F, items 12A through C, and tonight's bills totaling $1,478,393.79.
So moved. Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries with all ayes. Moving on down tonight's agenda to 7A. We have a couple of public hearings tonight. The first one is, this public hearing concerns the proposed vacation and sale of public right-of-way, the old Sunmart Alley. Come and Go has acquired the old Sunmart site located at the northeast corner of 4th and Cedar Streets. Their intent is to relocate their existing store at the northwest corner of 5th and Cedar to this location. Come and Go is requesting the alley running through this block be vacated. Prior to any formal action by City Council, a public hearing is required. Now is the time for the public to comment. Hearing nothing, do I have a motion to close? Second?
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Nay.
Motion carries. The second public hearing tonight concerns a proposed airport T-hangar apron expansion project. The city has received funding from the Iowa Department of Transportation to complete the design and first phase of the project. The engineer has completed the design of the project and is ready to move forward with the bidding process. Prior to any formal action by City Council, a public hearing is required. Now is the time for the public to comment. Hearing nothing, do we have a motion to close
Move
the
to
public
close, Your
hearing?
Honor.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? The motion carries with all ayes. Moving on down to 11A. We have a first reading of an ordinance vacating the city right-of-way, the old Sunmart Alley. Is there a motion to approve the first reading of the ordinance as submitted?
So moved. Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none. Councilman Saucedo, how do you vote?
Aye.
Bynum?
Aye.
Harvey?
Aye.
Spread?
Aye.
Natbig?
Aye.
Fitzgerald?
Aye.
And Raywalt?
Nay.
Motion carries with 6 ayes and 1 nay. 11B, we have a resolution approving the plans and specifications, form of contract, and cost estimate, and setting the bid opening date for the proposed airport T-hangar apron expansion project. Is there a motion to adopt the resolution as submitted?
So moved, Your Honor.
Tom?
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none. Councilman Spread, how do you vote?
Aye.
Harvey?
Aye.
Bynum?
Aye.
Saucedo?
Aye.
Raywalt?
Aye.
Fitzgerald?
Aye.
And Natbig.
Aye.
The resolution is adopted with all ayes. 11C, presented for City Council's consideration is a resolution authorizing the assessment of unpaid abatement costs and rental inspection fees to private properties. Periodically, the city takes action to assess unpaid nuisance abatement costs and rental inspection fees to private properties. The nuisance abatement costs for snow and junk removal total $1,507.78, and rental inspection fees total $270. The administrative fees are $1,750, and the assessment fees are $2,050. The total fee being requested for assessment at this time totals $5,577.78. Is there a motion to adopt the resolution as submitted?
So moved, Your Honor.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none. Councilman Raywalt, how do you vote?
Aye.
Fitzgerald?
Aye.
Natbig?
Aye.
Spread?
Aye.
Harvey?
Aye.
Bynum?
Aye.
Saucedo?
Aye.
The resolution is adopted with all ayes. 11D. We have a presented for City Council's consideration is a resolution setting a public hearing for the 2018 Annual Plan and Amendments to the Section 8 Housing Choice Voucher Administrative Plan and Public Housing Admissions and Continued Occupancy Policy. Under federal regulations, qualified public housing authorities include the Muscatine Municipal Housing Agency, are required to have a resident advisory board to review public housing authority policies and budgets, as well as conduct an annual public hearing to receive comment on proposed goals, policy changes, and the use of public funds. This public hearing, is required prior to adoption of the annual plan and policy amendments. This public hearing will be held on Thursday, April 6th of this year at 7:00 PM. Is there a motion to adopt the resolution as submitted?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none. Councilman Harvey, how do you vote?
Aye.
Spread.
Aye.
Saucedo.
Aye.
Bynum.
Aye.
Fitzgerald.
Aye.
Raywalt.
Aye.
And Nat Vig.
Aye.
The resolution is adopted with all ayes. 11E, presented for City Council's consideration is a resolution setting a public hearing on an ordinance amending Title 10 zoning of the City Code. Rewriting the zoning ordinance is the most important step in implementing the vision of the new comprehensive plan. The revised zoning ordinance will have sufficient flexibility to be adapted to unique and difficult site conditions to preserve the character of individual neighborhoods and will be more user-friendly. Prior to any formal action by City Council, a public hearing is required. This hearing will take place on Thursday, March 2nd of this year at 7:00 PM. Is there a motion to adopt the resolution as submitted?
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none. Councilman Fitzgerald, how do you vote?
Aye.
Raywalt.
Aye.
Nat Vig.
Aye.
Harvey.
Aye.
Bynum.
Aye.
Saucedo.
Aye.
And Spread.
Aye.
The resolution is adopted with all ayes. 11F, presented for City Council's consideration, is a resolution approving the contract and bond for the Public Safety Additional Cooling Capacity Project. At its February 2nd, 2017 meeting, City Council awarded the bid for this project to the Crawford Company in the amount of $164,678. Staff is requesting that City Council take action to approve the contract and bond from the Crawford Company for this project. Is there a motion to adopt the resolution as submitted?
So moved, Your Honor.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none. Councilman Fitzgerald, how do you vote?
Aye.
Raywalt.
Aye.
Nat Vig.
Aye.
Bynum.
Aye.
Saucedo.
Aye.
Harvey.
Aye.
And Spread.
Aye.
The resolution is adopted with all ayes. Excuse me. 11G, presented for City Council's consideration is a request to approve the interagency agreement between the Iowa Department of Inspections and Appeals and the Muscatine Municipal Housing Agency. The Muscatine Municipal Housing Agency is seeking to renew the interagency agreement with the Iowa Department of Inspections and Appeals for services to investigate potential cases of fraud by clients in the public housing and/or Section 8 Housing Choice Voucher programs. The terms of the agreement, including the fee charged, are the same as those of the 2016 agreement. Is there a motion to approve the request as submitted?
So moved, Your Honor.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? The request is approved with all ayes. 11H, presented for City Council's consideration is a request to approve the City of Muscatine Employee Handbook. The handbook has been updated to reflect changes in both employment policies and legal requirements. Staff and legal counsel have reviewed the revisions to the handbook and are recommending its approval by City Council. Is there a motion to approve the request as submitted?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion?
I just had one question. Do we update this every year?
No, not every year, just as needed or required.
Okay. Because the last one did say 2016.
Well, that'll be corrected to today's
Okay.
date.
Okay. That's all I have.
Hearing nothing else, all in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? The request is approved with all ayes. 11I, presented for City Council's consideration is a request to approve change order number 4 for the Mulberry Avenue reconstruction project. This change order summarizes the additional working days negotiated by the contractor for the extra work encountered during this project. This is a zero-cost change order. Is there a motion to approve the request as submitted?
So moved. Second.
Any discussion?
I want all change orders like that. That
All in
cost.
favor say aye. Opposed? The request is approved with all ayes. 11J, Presented for City Council's consideration is a request to accept federal funds for the purchase of 3 transit buses. Staff have received notification on the availability of funding for the purchase of 3 light-duty transit buses. This funding totaling $243,100 was awarded through the Iowa Rural Transit Vehicle Replacement Grant Program. The city will be responsible for 15% of the purchase cost, $42,900. Is there a motion to approve the request as submitted?
So moved, Your Honor.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? The request is approved with all ayes. Moving down to 14, communication from council. Councilman Spread, do you have anything tonight?
Nothing this evening, Your Honor.
Ray Walt?
Nothing tonight, thank you.
Nat Vig?
Nothing, thank you.
Councilman Harvey?
Nothing tonight, Your Honor.
Saucedo?
Nothing, Your Honor.
Councilman Fitzgerald?
Nothing at this time, Your Honor.
Councilman Bynum?
Nothing tonight, Your Honor.
Staff?
Just that, excuse me, just that item 15A will not be required, Your Honor.
And I just had a couple of things tonight. I just wanted to remind everyone about Coffee with the Mayor, February 25th at 9 a.m. at Happy Joe's. Love to have you come. Next week, we don't have a meeting. And I wanted to just remind people again about contributing to the Muscatine Food Pantry. And there's another need that has came up recently. The Muskie Locker system that they utilize at the high school for students that are in need of personal hygiene products, snacks, any kind of academic supplies that they might need. These are now being started in the middle schools as well, and they're looking for any donations, things like notebooks, paper, pencils, toothbrushes, toothpaste, snack things. The Muskie Locker program. And they have it available to students to anonymously go in and get what they need, so they aren't embarrassed and nobody knows, but they can access the items that they need, or maybe even take home granola bars on the weekend, things like that. So any help that you can give is always greatly appreciated, I am sure. We have an early meeting. So do we have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
We are adjourned. Thank you all for coming.
Told you it was